Hello, world. Brian here again. Happy Sabbath. As it turns out, that is a subject that we will be talking about more in depth in the next episode, talking about the Fourth Commandment. So, welcome to my ministry. As always, I would like to remind everyone, to remember to keep God in your life, give Him the glory in everything, keep Him in our thoughts, always right where He belongs in our hearts, our minds, and our souls. And so, getting to the point, today I'm going to talk about the Third Commandment, or the Second Commandment according to the Catholic version of the commandments, of the Ten Commandments. So, what exactly does this commandment state? What does it say? Well, the Bible says, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain." And the Catholic version of this commandment states pretty much the same thing. It states, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." Simple. These both appear to have very similar meanings, and I believe that they mean the same thing. So, having said that, what exactly does it mean? Well, I'm glad I asked myself that question. Anyway, pretty much to take the name of the Lord in vain is to basically blurt it out in a disrespectful way. So when you say things like OMG, GD it, or JC, or any combination of that kind of thing, you are taking the name of the Lord, whether it be God or his son, Jesus Christ, in vain. And it's not okay. The problem being that in today's society, it seems that it has become so prolific that you hear it like that on television, movies, just about everywhere you go these days. People just blurt it out without even thinking that that's what they're doing. No one really, I can't say no one, but there are a great many people these days who really don't have the proper respect for God or his son anymore. It's really become so prolific that it's perfectly acceptable just about anywhere, anytime. But the reality is that it's not okay. God himself is not okay with it. If he was, there wouldn't be a commandment about it. And the commandments are like, those are 10 laws that we're supposed to live by, and this is one of them. So when we use God's name or that of his son, his only begotten son, Jesus, it should really be in the utmost reverence and respect. When addressing them in prayer, for instance, or when actually talking about them with a respectful and reverent manner to others, when reading the Bible out loud. These are instances when it's okay to use the name of God and or Jesus Christ. As I am right now, I'm talking about them, not using their name as an expletive. What really floors me, excuse me, is that people are okay with this. They're okay with using the name of the Lord in vain, but get all offended about the use of words like the F-bomb and the S-word, which I'm not going to say either, or any number of words like that. These are in actuality nothing to be offended over at all, if you stop and think about it. The granddaddy of all these horrible, terrible words, the F-bomb, actually means to fornicate, if you're looking at the actual meaning of it, which is a word that's actually found in the pages of the Bible itself. The S-word simply means to defecate, which is, again, a word that no one is really offended by. Grossed out maybe, but not offended. So this is, of course, if we're actually looking into the meaning of these words, the real meaning of these words, and not necessarily the context in which they are more commonly used, the expletive type fashion. So what does the Bible say about using profanity? It really doesn't say much in the sense of these particular kinds of words, the ones that I just described. It refers more to taking the Lord's name in vain and saying bad things to and about other people. So when we refer to these profane words as swearing or cursing, is that what they really are? Well, according to the dictionary, yes, that's what they really are. In a secondary sense, okay? So if we look up the word swearing or swear, to swear, it means to take an oath or to swear by. Using profane language is the secondary definition. So while the use of profane language is part of the meaning, it's the secondary meaning. And the same could be said for cursing, and I'll get to that in a minute. Um, Profane in this case, the meaning of profane is irreverent, obscene, or vulgar. So that type of language. I could keep breaking these down, but the reality is that these particular words are really only obscene or vulgar because mankind decided they are, not because they have ever been outlawed by God or the Bible. That's really never happened. So, what about cursing? Again, two meanings here as well. Wishing bad things on someone or something, or using obscene or profane language. So, same kind of thing. Obscene or profane language being the secondary meaning. Now, again, the words that we think of as profane or obscene today very likely had no meaning at all 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. Yet using the name of the Lord in vain was still not allowed even then. So the difference being here that it really mattered to people back then. It mattered a lot. In fact, it mattered to people as far back as 40 or 50 years ago. It mattered. And today, not so much. Today, people use the name of the Lord in vain all the time. It's as acceptable as watering your lawn or brushing your teeth. Now, I don't want you to get me wrong here. What I'm doing is a comparison here. I'm not condoning the use of profanity. I'm simply asking why people get all offended over the use of man-made profanity, yet they're okay with prolifically taking the Lord's name in vain and actually even combining that frequently with these other profane words as well. Things like OMFG, for instance, like another one I wouldn't even think of saying. But you get my gist here, I hope. Any taking of the Lord's name in vain, uttering his name in any kind of disrespectful fashion is not okay. Using it as an expletive is not okay. It goes against the Third Commandment. So we need to go back and we need to have a look at what's written in the Bible about this. And I'm just going to quote one verse here. James 2, verse 10, which states, For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend one point, he is guilty of all. What's this really saying? It's saying if you break one commandment, you're breaking all of the commandments. So we really need to be more vigilant with ourselves. We need to police ourselves better and really think before we speak, not just blurt things out like that, but think about what you're saying before you say it. There's a lot of different expletives you can use. My gosh, for instance, that are not profane, that are not taking the name of the Lord in vain. Things like that. If we stop and think about what we're going to say, what's going to come out of our mouth, we may be able to turn it around for ourselves and not have to always be asking for forgiveness. We probably should do that anyway, but my point is at least not for this one, at least not for the Third Commandment. So anyway, that pretty much concludes today's topic. So I would like to mention in closing that I have included a link to a PayPal page where if the Spirit moves you, you can donate whatever amount you like. Every little bit does help. Helps me to get it out to more people, the message. If not, that's okay too. All I ask is please like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube. So you'll be the subscription being so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. Sharing is actually the most important of these. When you share these messages, others might get the value from them as well. So the important thing here, the most important thing I think, is that the messages here in these episodes are always going to be free to everyone. This is as God intended. He intended his word, his message to be a free message to everyone, to all of mankind. So that's what I'm trying to do here. My goal is to help those who might not otherwise find him to find their way to God. So the next episode, I'm going to be returning to the Ten Commandments still. I'll be still hanging out here. And I'm going to be breaking down the Fourth Commandment. The Fourth Commandment is a very important commandment, and a lot of people don't really realize it. So I really not just want to touch base on this one, but I really want to get in depth on this one. So I'll give you my thoughts on that next episode. So until then, be safe, be kind to others, love your family, love your friends and those close to you, love God and his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. Show that love daily. Talk to God through Jesus Christ in prayer regularly. And while you're praying for yourself and your loved ones, remember to say something for those who are a little bit less fortunate, and hopefully pray for them as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have an absolutely splendid day. Until next time, take care.